Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be reading from our Beach House Horror Stories series. So let's dive right into the story. It was supposed to be the perfect weekend. My cousin had rented a small beach house tucked away on a quiet stretch of shoreline, the kind of place where the only sound at night was the waves hitting the sand. A group of 5 of us headed out of the city. The drive took about 2 hours and we arrived around noon. The house was everything my cousin had promised. We spent the afternoon swimming, drinking and barbecuing. As the sun began to set, we decided to head into town for some food. When we came back, we noticed that the power had gone out. "Great," said my cousin, grabbing a flashlight from the glove box. "Just like in the old days, huh?" As we walked down the overgrown path to the house, we started telling scary stories to each other. By the time we reached the front door, we were all practically screaming. The first night felt magical. The warm breeze, the ocean air, the windows open so the sound of the tide rocked us to sleep. But sometime after midnight, I woke up, not from the waves, but from a knocking sound. Slow, hollow, like someone was tapping on the walls from outside. I thought maybe it was just the wind or loose shutters. But when I got up and checked, every window was shut tight. I tried to go back to sleep, but the knocking continued, now louder, each tap echoing through the silent house. My girlfriend, who was sleeping with me, didn't seem to hear anything. Probably just old pipes, I told myself, laying back down. But I didn't sleep at all the rest of the night. And whenever I closed my eyes, I imagined a shadowy figure pacing just outside our room, knocking its bony fingers against the wall, waiting for something. The next day, I asked my cousin if he had heard it. He laughed it off. "Old house, wood creaks. Don't worry." I spent most of that day staring out at the water, trying to keep myself from worrying. In the evening, we lit candles and brought out board games. I forced myself to have fun, but the knocking sound kept playing in my head. And as the night went on, the temperature dropped. It was cold enough that we closed all the windows and turned on every heater we could find. Before going to bed, I made sure my door was shut tight. That night, my girlfriend and I slept with the lights on. Around 2 a.m., the knocking came back. This time it seemed to be coming from inside the house. First on the back wall, then near the kitchen, then directly by the bedroom door. My girlfriend and I looked at each other in terror. I sat up in bed, listening. The knocking lasted about 10 minutes, growing louder and more insistent. Then suddenly it stopped. Just when I started to relax, I heard something else. Wet footprints, soft slaps, one after another, across the wooden floorboards. I turned on the lamp, but the floor by the door was wet. There was no one else in the room. I looked under the bed. No one was there, but then I noticed something strange. Our bedroom door was slightly ajar, just enough for a thin sliver of moonlight to shine through the gap. Had I imagined the whole thing? I cautiously approached the door, my hand shaking as I reached out to push it open. But before I could, the doorknob started to turn slowly. Panic welled up inside me as I stumbled backward, knocking over a chair. The doorknob turned all the way, and the door swung open empty. My girlfriend and I screamed and ran out of the room. We locked ourselves in the bathroom, hugging each other, too terrified to move. When the knocking stopped, we unlatched the door and slowly made our way back to our room. The closet door was wide open. Inside, hanging on the empty clothes rod, was my jacket. It had been hanging in the closet that morning when we left to go to town. I don't remember taking it off. Maybe it was all just a dream. I was about to tell my girlfriend that when I noticed something odd. The sleeves of my jacket were twisted and pulled tightly, like someone had grabbed them and run. Shaken but relieved, we decided to leave the house and spend the night in a hotel. The next morning, we learned the history of the house. Years ago, a fisherman had drowned just offshore. His body had never been recovered. They say he sometimes comes back with the tide, looking for a way inside. To this day, I swear I still hear waves and knocking whenever I close my eyes. That night, my cousin didn't laugh anymore. He had woken up, pale, saying he saw a figure standing at the end of the hallway, tall, dripping with seawater, its head tilted at an unnatural angle. The smell of rotting seaweed filled the air. I know this because I read it in the last comment on the video description. Now, if you want to hear another terrifying beach horror story, then check out the next video. I hope you enjoyed today's story. If you did, please subscribe. And as always, happy haunting.